Yeah, we should proceed now to the next talk, which will definitely be interesting too. It's about the Kadaster Innovation Funnel, which I not yet know what it's about, so it sounds interesting to me. So I guess I hand over the microphone to Toon and Remco, and yeah, enjoy the talk, and yeah.
Okay, thank you. So I think that's, apart from the word "the," that's probably 3 words that need some explanation, right? Kadaster, probably not familiar to every one of you. And what the innovation funnel is will become very, very clear during this talk. My name is Remco de Boer. I'm here with Ton van der Zwet. Ton is with the Kadaster, which is an organization in the Netherlands, and I will explain what that organization does in a minute or so. And what we want to show you today is how we used Semantic MediaWiki and a couple of other semantic technologies to implement this thing that we call the innovation funnel within the Kadaster. But maybe first a short view on the organization profiles, especially about the Kadaster. Tom.
Thank you, Remco. I saw in a previous slide, in a previous presentation, Kadaster spelled with a T, and we do it with a D, but in English it's spelled with C-A-D. But the Dutch Kadaster is land registry and mapping agency, and we collect and register all things about land ownerships and so on. Thus, in short, we are quite old, 185 years old. I wasn't there from the beginning, but I inherited some old stuff from that. We were founded for money reasons. Napoleon Bonaparte needed money for his military adventures, so he figured out that if somebody had some property, probably had some money too, so if he knew who had property, he could get the money there. So that's why we started collecting data about properties. Nowadays we do more about data collection and data distribution, open data for instance, and we protect some legal certainty by law. We provide services so that people can connect to our databases, and in fact we are in the process of connecting all registrations, not only of land but also from persons, etc., together to be able to give a uniform data view of all public data. So that more or less concludes a quick description of the Kadaster, and Remco will.
Yeah, I'll be brief. I think most of you have seen one of our presentations earlier in previous years. So I'm with XL&Knowledge, which is a subsidiary of ArchiXL. The XL&Knowledge label is a label we use for knowledge management services and consultancy. ArchiXL is an enterprise and information architecture consultancy, and we do a lot of things with semantic wikis, including what we will be showing here. Maybe a few words on innovation within the Kadaster. Tom.
Yes, as I told you, we were founded for some banal reason, money, but nowadays we have to keep up with the innovation that's going on in the surrounding. And we do that by innovation departments. Every part of our organization has in its own field some initiatives, and we do that by grouping together some people, experts on the field, and let them, on basis of ideas, develop projects and products. We call them product and process innovation departments, and For instance, some of the recent innovations are concerning linked open data. As I mentioned, we try to link all data sources to give a better view of the reality. Also, 3D Kadaster is a new innovation. In the past, you had a parcel of land and you put a house on it and that's it. But nowadays, there are tubes below your feet and some buildings go up in the air, and you have to make certain that it is known who has what and where it is. So you can, for instance, get mortgage on those properties. We try to get the innovation adapted by the whole company, and therefore it must be known and made visible. And we had a problem: how do we make visible what we do as a department, innovation department? And that way we came up with the idea of a innovation funnel, where we made a visualization of all innovations, not only in one department, but all innovation departments of the Dutch Kadaster. We made a process description, and it's more visible in your own thing. It's a little bit badly readable. We start with some idea in an inbox, and if you look into the description, you see that it evolves from ID to enriching the ID to make certain that stakeholders are happy with it. Business case to get some money, and the project phases to get the product, the idea ready for production. And then we come in the lower part of the slide, and in the end it's like present to the organization. You have your product. In fact, we said it's more or less, you have a lot of ideas, and in the end you end up with a few products that are really made production right. This is the idea in a development phase, where we said every sticker has a presentation of an idea of an innovation, and it flows through the phases you see on top through the funnel, and that is the basis of our visualization project. And Remco will continue.
So what you just saw is, I don't know if it was really visible, but it's a big picture of a funnel with a lot of post-its on it, and post-its represent innovations that have a particular position in this innovation process that Tom just showed you. That was the concept. The concept has been implemented initially in a PowerPoint deck. So what you see here is a picture that comes from one of these first implementations. It has been taken from the PowerPoint deck, and you see different little circles, balls in this visualization. And each of these circles stands for one of the innovations that is currently running throughout the Kadaster. And they are in different phases, as you can see. Some of them are in the very beginning, some of them are near the very end and are nearing adaptation, and a big amount of them are also in between these two extremes. So this was a PowerPoint slide, and one of the things, of course, if you have this, is you want to click through. You want to see the data that is underneath. So indeed, you could, in this PowerPoint, click on one of these circles, and then you would see something like this, which is another part of the PowerPoint deck, which shows you some data about this particular innovation. This one is about a linked open data project. and it has a description, it has some information about the place in the organization that it falls under, some information about the contact persons and the architects that are involved in there. And this was what you could say Innovation Funnel 1.0. And in using this PowerPoint deck as a representation of the funnel, some needs came up and some challenges came up that could not really be solved with having everything in one PowerPoint slide. So we started at the left-hand side, where we had, and that was the very beginning of the project that we ran together, where we had a PowerPoint file, which had internal links for drill down and cross-references, and which also, if you look at the reason that the innovation departments came up with this idea of an innovation funnel, pretty much satisfies the primary goals that were stated there. So it visualized the whole flow of innovations, it gave an overview. It could be used for information dissemination, so it's not just a poster on the wall, but you could actually distribute it within the organization to other people that should take note of what happened there. But we identified, and Kadaster identified several improvement opportunities, mainly in the area of maintainability, because if you have a single file that contains all the information, updates are quite cumbersome, and you have centralized maintenance, so you have one person needs to be responsible for maintaining all the data about all the innovations that are in this pretty big organization. And another drawback was that the information is quite static. There's a line within the presentation in such a PowerPoint file, and if you need information that's not part of that line or part of the hyperlinks that you can follow, then you have a problem, because you need to start to distill the information from by your own from the information that is there, but it's not readily presented in the way that you need it. So we made this a semantic innovation funnel. We used Semantic MediaWiki as a data management tool, which made maintenance immediately a shared responsibility. So we now have owners of innovations that are actually responsible for maintaining the data about their own innovations. We were able to replicate the PowerPoint pages that you just saw by just using templates and queries to gather the information and present it the way that people were used to it. But now they looked at a wiki instead of a PowerPoint file. And a big advantage is that we now had the opportunity to gather management information by using queries. And these queries could be ad hoc as well. And we connected this, because a wiki does not give you the nice picture that I just showed. We connected this to a visualization engine, which is called the Linked Data Theater, which runs on linked data, RDF triples. It's an open source tool for presentation of linked data, and it obtains the RDF triples from Semantic MediaWiki. And then based on these triples, it constructs the visualization, which looks like this. So if it's visible, you will notice that it's pretty similar to the thing that we just showed you, which was a manually constructed visualization. This one has been constructed through a combination of semantic technologies. So this is in broad lines the architecture that we used. We have Semantic MediaWiki depicted here at the lower left-hand side, which we use for management information queries, for innovation details, and for data management in general. So it's the data entry point also for people that maintain the innovation funnel. It exports RDF linked data, which we use as a visualization base, and then on the right-hand side you see this visualization that's generated through the linked data theater, which gives you overviews, current states of the innovation, but also, and we will show that in a minute, changes over time. And we also have a couple of other connections, one most notably here to the intranet, which contains employee profiles, which we use to, for instance, depict photographs at the contact person details that you just saw. For every innovation there's contact details, and we now connect that also to the intranet profiles here. So that's about the construct and the way that we implemented this semantic innovation funnel. And I don't know if there's any question about that, because now we will turn back again to the innovation process to have a quick look at how this is actually used within the organization. And for that, Tom, I give it back to you.
Okay, so now we have a maintainable data source. Not only it is distributed among the people who care about the innovation itself, who know the innovation, but also we have a better maintainability and speed of innovation. The first system, the PowerPoint system, took nearly a week and a half to give a new visualization, and the data was way back because nobody cared about updating the information. So now we have a system called SuperSUP. SUP stands for stand up. We share our thoughts, our business with our direct colleagues, and we enrich in that way our initiatives. SuperSUP stands for a stand up with all the innovation departments, and we discuss and enrich all the initiatives presented and put into place by different departments. This SuperSUP is not weekly as the stand-ups, but 6 weekly, and it marks a milestone in our process. In that case, that we present and make a new status of our innovation. So that is also communicated outside of our innovation departments. The funnel management is centered around that happening, the SuperSUP, and instead of a week and a half hard work to get a new visualization, it's now back to 2 hours, 1 hour before and 1 hour after such a meeting. And to give an idea, although not everybody is always present, we get more or less half the size of people present to give some feedback and give some information about the innovations present. During those meetings we also prioritize and assess the impact of the proposed innovations. But the most important thing is the enrichment of the innovations, because we noticed that ideas pop up at different departments and get worked out parallel, and we try to canalize those information into one initiative. So how do we select topics, because we can't do 100+ innovation in a talk of 1 hour. The SuperSUP is only 1 hour. And that's, it is in Dutch, so I'll give a quick overview. The SuperSUP is also a item which is known in the MediaWiki. It has meaning, so it knows when the last was, when the next one is, and what initiatives are candidates for presentation on the SuperSUP. We can do, if you see, vastgestelde means that it is selected, that innovation is selected for presentation. En mogelijke bespreekpunten, the next main section is candidates. Candidates are new innovations put into the inbox, or innovations that have some reason to be presented, and that can be a quick flow through the funnel, or the other way around, no progress at all, so we can discuss what should we do about it. The process of selecting is very simple. The manager who wants, the directors of the innovation department can do that behind their screen and select the innovations they want to talk about. They even can choose whatever innovation they like to talk about without being suggested by the wiki software. The wiki software does that by analyzing faces and speed, etc. So, what is the result? This is the wiki view, but more interesting and presentable is this view, also the linked data theater view. You see in the left top hand corner innovation inbox, and that are the innovations that are present, new innovations, so they are pointing to the inbox. The status is inbox. You see some innovations that have popped up, and that's a problem with a pointer in the innovation funnel more to the right, and some innovations that have arrows from somewhere in the innovation funnel to another place. That are phase changes that will be talked about. This image is much clearer than the total image, where you have 100+ innovations and try to figure out which one has changed or something like that. This image is generated in combination wiki software data in combination with the linked data theater that knows the present and the last position of the innovation. So that's the arrow you see. If the SuperSUP is finished, I said that it takes only an hour to make a new presentation for the outside world. The conclusions of the SuperSUP are worked in input for the wiki, so that the status is correctly administered in the wiki. And in fact, the linked data theater is also used to make some plots in large format, A0. It's more than a meter, because some people like to see paper. And that you see on the left side, that is total innovation view of last September. And that's nice for seeing, but not much conclusion. On the right lower side, you see a selection. The linked data theater is capable of selecting on basis of several semantic values a selection of the data. So you can choose, I have a customer group and I want to see the innovations that are important for that customer group, or I want to see the innovations that are run, sponsored by a certain directorate or something like that. And at the lower right you see one of the large sponsors who has a lot of innovations running. That gives us a lot of information that people use, and they come up with some ideas, and some future developments are already defined. And as such, the management likes not only the idea that we are busy, but they want to see some reports. How well did we do? What is going on? We have some ambition. What initiatives are in place for certain ambitions, etc. The future integration with other Kadaster departments, and I say here, I say the enterprise architects, now we have defined our own business processes as items. And we have defined them, and that's not the correct size. Thank you. That's not the correct manner of doing. There is another department responsible for defining processes and functions, business functions, etc. Enterprise architecture. We want to link our wiki with the information they provide. So if enterprise architecture defines a new business function, it will be visible in the innovation funnel. So also a more active wiki. We want people to be able to give information on the right time, and the wiki can assist in that way. Also, one point we did lose. On the PowerPoint it was possible via the animation function to let the innovations move through the funnel. You could make an animation, and the wiki and certainly paper isn't capable of doing so. So we want something that we can show what did we achieve this year and let the different stages of the innovation funnel pass through. And we have also a lot of other ideas, but this is too summary, and I would like to give you the opportunity to give some answers, or maybe get some answers from us. Questions, please. Everything clear?
I'm curious about the last thing with the round trip. The data, how that would work.
So that would be a technical requirement to have this type of visualization that Tom talked about. Because currently we have, let's say, a visualization of changes over time, but it's only between two snapshots. We have the previous visualization and the next visualization, and we can, by means of these arrows, we can animate, in a sense, the changes that happen there. But we cannot go back further in time. We also cannot go forward further in time. It's just between these two snapshots. And if we want to be able to have more snapshots throughout time, we need to record the snapshots. We don't do that right now. So that would require some kind of round tripping to actually go back to the wiki from the visualization and say, this is the snapshot currently in time, and the next one should be comparable to this one.
So within the VSM you store historical data?
Yes, but in what way? Probably the historical data will be part of the first-class entities in the wiki, because there's no such thing as going back through time by querying previous values of properties, for instance, which would be great. We can't do that.
There was an extension called Semantic History that did that very long time ago.
Should revive that one, probably, yeah.
The only way we can see is because it is a wiki, you can click the history button, but that's not a very user-friendly manner of working. So a lot of people in the business side ask for, can you make it more dynamic? So we have a lot of information, but it's only the status from now. More questions? Thank you very much.